light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up, go dumb, go stupid, yeah, we undefeated, sucker free, we got the seats heated, let's face it, you bout to get a beat down, less talking, let's take it to the streets now, ain't gonna be no rematch, why you wanna fight, touchdown on sight, yeah, turn off the light, oh, turn off the light, let's get it poppin', go dumb. When you see me moving, bodies dropping. Move some. I'm about to go sick. Call Earl. I'm turning up like E40, not your average girl. I'm turning up. We can rock like Rocky. Make you tap it. Ghost ride the whip. Look at my drip. This ain't a copy. We got a night if you wanna throw hands. When they see me fight, they wanna throw bands. Go dumb, go stupid. Yeah, we undefeated. Sucker free, we got the seats heated. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up.
It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for that Monday sports boxing recap known as the Shoe Shine. Joining me all the way from the icy cold city of brotherly love, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. Que pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
Good to have you, man. Well, actually, it's Tuesday, so salute to everybody in the chat joining us. Happy Taco Tuesday to everybody. Shout out to good to see Chauncey Pearls in the chat. Hope everything is doing great out there in California. Shout out to 702 Man Cave. Big weekend for him coming up ahead. Shout out to everybody that's been playing along with us on our Thursday night football picks show. If you didn't know, we were giving away a $100 Amazon gift card, and we are almost done because after the conclusion of Monday Night Football, I'll announce a winner. And in the lead this week, shout out to from the 619, Fonzie and Man Cave with 10 wins apiece, Drew. 10 wins apiece for NFL Week 15. We got, how many more? 3 more games? And both our teams, I want to say, did you notice that we both played some of the worst teams in the NFL? You did fairly well. I got to say, you did much better, 31-0, not allowing the Raiders to score a single point. The 49ers offensively looked spectacular, but did allow the Titans to put up 20-plus points on the board. But a lot of things happened in the NFL this week. What were your thoughts on that?
We didn't even allow 80 yards of offense.
Oh. Does it feel good again? Man. Does it feel good again?
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. I feel a lot better because I told people if you want to pick an upset of the week, it's Minnesota beating Dallas in Dallas. And because I thought it was going to be a trap game for the Cowboys because there's so much on the line. And they have a 50-50 shot of getting the East or getting in, lose, and you have a 1% chance of making it. And what happened? The defense didn't show up again. And now they are 1% chance of making the playoffs. And I really gotta say, man, when it takes, and here's the thing, it's going to be the 4th time in the past 30 years that a team averaging over 28 points a game doesn't make the playoffs.
Interesting. You know, I was noticing that Micah Parsons, boy, that was a pretty bad injury for the Green Bay Packers, who are still trying to get a spot of their own. And maybe, it's ironic the Dallas Cowboys traded him away and he ends up tearing his ACL. But most importantly, the most famous ACL tear this weekend was Patrick Mahomes, Drew. And I was wondering what you thought about that. They're officially done. It is now what is it? I think they were saying it's the first time in X amount of years, but it's very interesting because Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls before tearing his ACL. And this is almost a repeat of history that Patrick Mahomes won 3 Super Bowls and tears his ACL for the first time in his professional career. What do you think about that?
Well, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw my story of I forget who that is, the defensive tackle of the Chiefs, and he was like this. Well, we got a few more more opportunities. We got to get it right. And then, hold on, are we in the playoff? Are we in the playoffs still? No. Okay.
Damn, Chauncey's asking me what's up with those bookings. Chauncey, you haven't been here. Actually, I just had eye surgery, so I can't even look. I haven't even been practicing. I can't even see CDJ decks yet. It's a miracle that I'm being able to look at this screen, but I should be pretty healed up, man. So we will make a crack at that in 2026. But for now, I haven't even been on my decks. Good to see Miss Bitch, Holy Bitch Queen, as always. Let me show you what Tom Brady had to say regarding Mahomes. This speaks very highly of Mahomes. It's a tough injury, but I know one thing about Patrick. He's very tough. He's very resilient. He's going to work extremely hard to get back. We wish him the best in his recovery. Hopefully it's fast and hopefully it's a successful surgery and he can get back on the mend. Speaking of those type of injuries, Fred Warner, Drew, people in the Bay Area, for 49er fans, they think that Fred Warner's trying to do everything he can to actually play in the playoffs. But guys, come on. Let the guy heal. He's not going to be back in time for a Super Bowl appearance. But, if anybody could will themselves to heal that quickly, it would probably be somebody like Fred Warner. But I don't think it's going to happen. Do you, Drew? An ACL tear come back the same season? Nah. It ain't going to be worth it. It ain't even going to be worth it.
Like, I look at it like this. To Man K's comment, the Raiders suck. Yeah, but the Raiders scored 14 on use. And I think it was like 14 on use and had a good amount of yardage against you. And we held them to 0 and held them to 75 yards of total offense. Yeah.
Well, you know who did not have a good game after having a pretty spectacular game the week before? Cleveland Browns, I thought would be remotely competitive and give the Chicago Bears a decent game. Shador would have done better. His passer rating would have been better if he actually just spiked every play. Shador Sanders went 18 for 35, 177 total yards, 3 interceptions, 5 sacks, and 0 TDs. The complete reversal of the week before. They played like complete ass. It was so cold, Drew, that I saw a video. I ain't got the video, but I saw a video that this guy opened up a Coca-Cola and tried to pour it in his cup, and it was coming out like a frozen icy. That's how cold it was.
You want to know who had an awesome, great game, man, and he looked like an all-pro quarterback, man?
Who's that?
J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, you like him.
He had an all-pro game against the Dallas Cowboys defense.
You would say that. Shout out to my boy Speech Impediment, man. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy looked a lot better. It wasn't too long ago that he was having a game just like Shador Sanders. And a lot of people wondering if the Vikings are going to stick with him. And it really depends, I guess, on these last 3 games. He didn't look that bad. He did a little celebration dance. What's that dance? The gritty? I think he did his best. Justin Jefferson almost caught one, or he did catch one, and it got called back. I did watch that on Sunday Night Football. Who knows? The verdict is still out on McCarthy. Whether or not the Vikings will make a play for Mac Jones from the San Francisco 49ers, that remains to be interesting. So obviously the big news of the weekend regarding quarterbacks, Drew, was the return of 44-year-old Philip Rivers. 44 years old, called off the couch, coaching high school football. In fact, I read that because he played this one game, he now extends his health insurance again. Hey, health insurance is expensive, guys. I'm self-employed, and it's unbelievable what I'm going to pay. But Philip Rivers, for playing that one game, has now guaranteed his entire family, and he has a shitload of kids, guys. He's a grandpa. The entire family gets health care for 5 years because he played that one game. And he played a great game against the Seattle Seahawks, coming down to the wire. I was texting with Man Cave. I thought, damn, they're going to do it. They're going to upset the Seahawks. I need this. I need this bad. The 49ers need this bad. No, they close, but no cigars. Drew, what'd you think of 44-year-old Philip Rivers coming back to play?
He has to wait longer to get in the Hall of Fame now.
That's right. That's right. I read that right. So what's the deal now? He's got to wait an extra 5 years or so?
Yeah.
The 49ers will be playing him. Today's Tuesday. Next Monday night. The 49ers will be playing. I want to do the Shoe Shine next Monday because it is Christmas week. And there's going to be a lot of boxing this weekend. And I want to do that right about the fourth quarter or not. We'll see how Phillip Rivers does. I'm fairly confident the 49ers are going to improve to 11-4 this coming Monday. 8 days of rest. Phillip Rivers also gets 8 days of rest. They were able to put up some points, but I have full confidence in my Niners getting past the Colts, Drew. Were you impressed by his play, his level of play, and his resilience?
Yeah. But, you know, I look at it like this. They brought him back because basically, hey, he knew the playbook. He knew the playbook because he was on that scheme and everything. He played on the Gene Steichen for a year and everything. It was probably the best boot possible. They try to keep them in the race, and hopefully he can have that spark in there. But I don't know. I just don't know how this is going to end up. Be a miracle now to make the playoffs. I think Jacksonville's probably going to win that division. Or Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville, man. They're red hot. Speaking of quarterbacks that had incredible games, wow, I was impressed. He was kind of looking like ass. Trevor Lawrence was looking like ass, but he had the best game of all the quarterbacks in the NFL this past weekend. I made a mistake on this show, Drew. I actually forgot. I thought Phillip Rivers is technically the only grandfather to have played as a quarterback in the NFL, but I was wrong. These are the two grandfathers right there who actually were playing. And also shout out to Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Steelers improved to how many games in a row the Steelers have won on Monday Night Football? It's unbelievable. They just do not lose on Monday Night Football. Did you see the video of the team of Tua and his team arriving to play in the cold weather and practicing in cold weather, dude? They looked ridiculous. They were pretty damn nervous about playing in that cold weather that they actually had a full session in the snow. Did you catch that video?
Nah.
Tua has not won a single game now when it's been under 40 degrees. He's 0-6, and the Steelers are unbelievable. On Monday Night Football, not only was it cold, they had everything going for them. Aaron Rodgers in that 40-plus club chasing. He's 40-plus years old. Cal Berkeley graduate. Chico, California, chasing a playoff spot. 23-0 on Monday Night Football. Is Tua the worst quarterback in the NFL right now?
No.
He's not. All right. Oh, okay. Well, who is?
I look at it, man, and like I'm gonna have to go with right now. I will probably have to go with Justin Fields.
All right. Okay. Shout out to Product Play 8785. If you're new to the channel, hit that likes button and feel free to subscribe, guys. We do football and boxing content right here, and we got a great interactive chat. A lot of cool people in here. Also, Chauncey, I wanted to respond to that. Yes or no, AJ Jake Paul happens. I still feel it doesn't. Well, I believe they had some fights on tonight, or they're currently on from Miami right now, inside a nightclub at Live Nightclub. We've got Live Nightclub right here in the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas too. I thought that was happening. So it looks like it's a go. And we're going to get to that a little bit later today. Look at the odds on DraftKings because they're kind of surprising. I do want to touch on that big fight this weekend. Jake Paul, Friday night versus Anthony Joshua. On the subject of prodigy plays, Drew, Drake May. Were you surprised that they lost at home to the Buffalo Bills? That game was a lot of fun to watch, man. Josh Allen really ramped it up there, and he beat the second best team.
I'm surprised that they blew a 21-point lead.
21-0 at one point. Yes. Are the Broncos the better team over the?
No, I don't think they're better than the Patriots.
You don't think the Broncos are the best team? They're number one seed. You don't think so? You think the Patriots will?
I think the Patriots will beat them.
So the AFC playoff picture is a lot more confusing than looking at the NFC. What makes the NFC so competitive and difficult is because the NFC West this year is the best division I've ever seen in so many years. Two teams deadlocked even right now. The Rams, even though they have the first number one seed, the Seahawks, they share the same record. The 49ers just one game behind both of them. This Thursday, when we do our usual football picks, is the battle for the NFC number one spot, Drew. With what you saw the Seahawks almost losing to Phillip Rivers, is there any conceivable way the Rams lose to the Seahawks this Thursday? Everyone in the chat, do you guys think the LA Rams are the number one seed for a reason? Do you think they blow out everybody? Do you think they win against the Seattle Seahawks this Thursday night?
I think the Seahawks win this game. I really think so. I have a feeling that Seahawks are going to win this game. I'll take the spread, the 1.5 too.
Seahawks. You're calling it early. Seahawks for the upset this week, this Thursday?
Yeah, I really think that, it's going to be a home game. I think they're going to split, and I think the Seahawks' time to win a game, stay in the hunt for that division title. I really think that Seattle can get to the quarterback, and those receivers that they got are fast. That receiving core is a scary receiving core in Seattle.
Yeah, they're lightning fast, but so are the Rams. And I just wanted to mention, I do not know, guys. Does anybody know the status of Devontae Adams, California kid out of Palo Alto? He wanted to play for the Niners after leaving the Raiders this season. The 49ers didn't want to play ball. They didn't want to pay him what he wanted, but I saw that he had a pretty bad injury at the end of the game. Do you know the status of him, Drew? Does anyone in the chat know the status?
Doesn't look good.
Well, that helps us. That career season ending type injury or sitting out this week? All right, cool. Well, I mean, not cool. Hey, I like Devontae and all, but he's a very dangerous receiver. I don't want to see him on the other end of the 49ers in the postseason, if indeed we play them. So, any other football stories that got your attention this weekend, Drew?
That the Eagles are gonna be the first repeat NFC East champions in 30 years, or in 20 years.
Absolutely, man. If you guys don't know, this is Shoeshine Boxing. We cover sports here. It's soon to be changed, most likely, to Shoeshine Sports. We cover football and combat sports right here. If you like the channel, feel free to subscribe and hit that like button. Let's move on to boxing. Stick with us, guys. It's a big week. There's some major news, and I want to start with the major news. This came as a shock to me. It was just announced a few hours ago. I got to ask my co-host, Drew. This now puts a nail in the coffin for a potential rematch between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez for a massive rematch. Terence Crawford announces his retirement after being a 5-division world champion, after just becoming undisputed at the super middleweight division. What I think may be the biggest upset of the year. Drew, are you surprised that Terence Crawford says the time has come? I am now retired.
No, not one bit. And I think he should retire. He has nothing left to prove. He's defying Turki Al-Sheikh, which I think everybody should nowadays, because Turki Al-Sheikh is bad for boxing. And he's saying, if you're not going to give me $100 million for a rematch against Canelo, then fuck you, I retire.
Man. Drew, you're not a big Philly cheesesteak guy, though, right? Chauncey wants to know.
Not really.
Yeah, there's some...
I don't really... Here's the thing. There's certain things that I would eat out, like pizza or fries or something, because it's hard to mess up. But anything else, I have to cook it to eat it. I can't go out to restaurants and eat and sit in and eat. I just can't do that. Like I had too many bad experiences. And I'm not willing to take that fucking risk again. But they're like, if you guys look at it, like, I never been down. Plus, I'm not down by that way. Where his cheesesteak thing is, I'm not down that way really much, like I used to be. So I don't really have the time neither to do that.
So regarding the retirement, Chauncey says Bud got his money. He got his accomplishments. What else is there to prove? It's just me being greedy. I would have loved to have seen him beat 40-something-year-old Erislan Lara, because there's very few fighters who have six division world champions, 7 division world champions like Manny Pacquiao. I felt like he had one easy win in him left, but I understand that he was paid so much money for the Canelo Alvarez fight that Turkey probably wouldn't pay him anywhere close to that to fight 40-something-year-old middleweight champion Erislan Lara. Personally, I would have loved to have seen him also snatch a middleweight championship. But again, at 38 years old, at this point, Bud says he's going to retire on, in control. And I get it. He says he has nothing left to prove. And if it's not going to be money that's going to drag him out or entice him to fight again, well, then I enjoyed a great run. Here's
the other story. Here's the other news that we got. As of summer 2026, Golden Boy Boxing is no longer going to be on the DAZN platform.
That is big news. I know we got a lot of regulars in here, and it came to a big shock to me. But when you start to look at some of the things that Oscar De La Hoya, he's been a very big vocal critic on all the attacks on the Muhammad Ali Act, on TKO Group. By the way, TKO Group, if you guys didn't know, they're on the stock market, Drew. They're killing it in stock. That means that people really anticipate that TKO with Paramount is going to be successful. Today, I was like tripping out. I was reading into the stock. It is skyrocketing, that TKO Group. Not a good thing for Golden Boy, who, as you mentioned, Drew, they're going to get cut from DAZN. That's what's being reported. They're going to get the axe. Our top rank doesn't have a home. Now Golden Boy's not going to have a home.
And Oscar's talking shit about it the whole time. But here's the thing. It makes sense why you cut Golden Boy and everything. And I'm going to explain to everybody why. Like if you're a network and you having all these promotional companies under your umbrella, you look at it and who has not gave you the money that you needed? Who hasn't had the viewership in their events? Matchroom has the viewership a little bit more than Golden Boy. Golden Boy's show has been nothing but subpar fights. I'm sorry. There have been nothing but subpar fights on the Golden Boy cards. And plus that is the smallest promotional output, promotional outlet on DAZN is Golden Boy. And they're playing hardball with trying to make Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz because Oscar and his manager don't want that fight.
It's a trip because I heard today that it's this one. Now I'm hearing, this was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago. I was just seeing some stuff that Boots Ennis is the one now driving up his asking price. And now that fight, which is scheduled, they've already secured a venue for March in Las Vegas. Now it appears to be in limbo all over again. That's not a good look if you're trying to stay on the DAZN platform as one of their in-house promoters. It's not a good look.
So I look at it, and a lot of things played the Oscars' mouth too. That I think they're going to have to support Turki Al-Sheikh, and Turki Al-Sheikh doesn't want to do business with Golden Boy. Then why they don't need to be on the platform?
Well, it looks like they don't want to do business with the WBC, which is, Oscar and the WBC are like this.
Yeah. So now it looks like Golden Boy's gonna have to look for another home, another network. Top Rank's having issues. Golden Boy's gonna have those issues too. They're not gonna be able to support a network. And if you look at it,
well, Amazon Prime saved the day.
It's not, because here's the thing: they're going to want to do everything pay-per-view, and nobody's going to pay for pay-per-view fights. No, not like, let's look at it like this: none of these fights are pay-per-view fights anymore, Dave. Pay-per-view market's dead. And these guys fail to accept that and put themselves more in a hole. So now I think that they have to really look at it as in bad business practices by Golden Boy. And now they're going to have to learn from it. And they're going to have to play nicer Top Rank or the PBC. You do have a Barrios versus Ryan Garcia fight, which I just still don't understand how Ryan Garcia is receiving a title shot after losing a one-sided fight to Wally and coming back and being just reinstated for his drug, PED case. But it's like this. I understand, hey, you give the guy a title shot if he lost a really close fight or a debatable fight that people thought the dude won the fight. But when you lose a flat-out one-sided fight, you shouldn't get a title shot. And the WBC, Sumo's answer is, it's a case-by-case basis. That's his favorite word. It's his favorite saying, a case-by-case basis. And here's the thing. They do not want the WBC. People, they know that everybody thinks they're corrupted and everything. And they don't realize you have to get your shit together or else you kill in this sport. And like, they are demonstrating some type of racist mentality, like against Russian fighters when they didn't want to let Russian fighters fight them. And then racist against certain black fighters, in my opinion. Like, you don't care, like, you want to say, oh, we stripping Terence Crawford, he doesn't really pay the censure fee. But here's the thing. $300,000 you're charging Terence Crawford, every other sanctioning body, he paid $100,000. Honestly, and we charge Canelo the same amount. Yeah, Canelo made over $50 million more than Terence Crawford. Possibly $100 million more than Terence Crawford. And you having him, because he made $50 million. How you know he made $50 million for the fight?
Yeah, I see my boy Donaire here in a long time. Merry Christmas to you and your familia, man. I hope everybody out there is doing great out there in your family. It's been a long time, man. We used to have some great times on Friday night. Good to see you, Don. He says, hey, this is off topic, but while you're here, Don, High Pitch Eric is no longer High Pitch Eric. I don't listen to the Howard Stern show, Drew, but I did listen to something this weekend while I was in the car. It came up on my satellite radio. High Pitch Eric, you know him, Drew, right? He's now Howard Stern proposed calling him Feces Eric. Shit Eric, that's his new name. He lost, apparently he lost his high-pitched voice. He doesn't have a high-pitched voice anymore. It's very weird now. It's very low now. I don't know how that happens, but now they want to call him Feces Eric. Shit Eric. I mean, how more insulting can you get? And quite honestly, I don't know how anybody listens to the Howard Stern show anymore. It really isn't funny at all. It's just not. But anyways, good to see you, Don. There was a lot of great comments in here, especially this one. Sonteo says that Golden Boy has no problem broadcasting their fights on YouTube. I'm all for it, man. If they could figure out a way to monetize YouTube and make it a viable solution for continuing their fights, I'm all for it. There's been a lot of small promoters, including ProBox, being very, very effective at it. So what else did I miss in the chat? Well, it all remains to be seen. Yeah, all remains to be seen what's going to happen with Golden Boy. One thing I will tell you, Drew, that boxing is going to change as we know it come January. Guys, TKO, Dana White, he's going to be having that first boxing show January, I believe January 20-something. And Drew, no boxing media that I know of, and absolutely not BoxingScene.com, because Turki Ali Sheikh wants nothing to do with BoxingScene.com. I don't know what boxing media is going to be invited, but I'm hearing here in Las Vegas that they're only going to approve UFC reporters, people that are already been covering UFC events, MMA events, which is going to shut out 99% of the boxing journalists unless you work for the Ring magazine. I don't agree with that. That ain't cool. I would like an invite to the UFC headquarters.
No, because please. A lot a lot of these reporters
I'll be fair.
telling it how it is, and they don't want, and Turkey don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
how to be talkative. And the thing about it is, you should be welcome to criticism of your product and everything. Helps you get better. And this is why it's a setup. It's a scam. This is why you're slowly killing the sport of boxing. And here's the thing: we all need to look like you have to look at it like this. One of the dominoes has fallen today with Terence Crawford out. So now, your big fight, rematch fight, is dead in the water, and boxing's died. Boxing's particularly dead now.
Oh man, it feels bad.
Well,
let me talk.
It is.
I want to move on, guys. Let's move on to some boxing that did happen this weekend. Speaking of boxing scene, I'll give a shout out to Lucas Cattell, my buddy Lukey. I'm sorry, Lukey, if you're listening to this or if you hear it later, but I interrupted Lukey. He was ringside when I called him on Saturday. He was ringside, so I haven't talked to him since then, but he was obviously there to cover for BoxingScene.com. Gabriel Flores was fighting Cordina for the 135-pound mandatory position of Abdullah Mason. Who else did you have on that card? You had, what's that female fighter that's supposedly dating Eddie Hearn? I forget her name. She's great.
Sky Nicholson.
Sky Nicholson, she made easy work of the Mexican fighter. It's not even worth talking about. And, of course, in the main event, also you had Tito Mercado, a 140-pound guy from Southern California. Tito Mercado is really interesting, Drew, because he's been calling out Las Vegas' own Emiliano Vargas for a fade. He wants to fight Emiliano Vargas really bad. They are two top contenders, young contenders, I would say now, at the 140-pound division. But if you look at what Tito Mercado's been doing on his resume, up until recently, Emiliano's been knocking everybody out. But I saw Tito Mercado fight in January, and he knocked out a former world champion. He also knocked out a very serious Moran from Mexico is a legitimate, better than a journeyman. That was a very impressive knockout. Let's see. He knocked him out in what round was that? 6th round. Tito Mercado is a heavy hitting puncher. He's a contender. No, very few people in boxing know him. But look, Drew, he's pretty close to getting a fight with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur. He's calling for the winner of that. Even if he doesn't get it, he may soon get himself into at least a mandatory position to one of the 140-pound champions. He's got a lot of skill. This kid's got a lot of skill. You guys got to Did you get a chance to watch him by any means? Yeah. Okay. I'm impressed. Do I see him beating any of this too? Probably not. The competition is stiff at 140. It's really stacked division, Drew. And you're going to have to do more than just beat Moran for me to start thinking you're going to beat Teofimo Lopez or Shakur or any of the 140-pound champions. I do think that he would stylistically match up well with Subriel Matias, who is fighting, I think, in January. He's been exonerated, I guess, of that PED scandal, but I'm impressed. And quite honestly, guys, if Mercado gets an opportunity to fight Emiliano Vargas before they become title holders, I'm all for it too. But you know the way the business of politics in the sport of boxing works, they will not derail somebody that they intend to have a world championship. It's going to be pretty hard. Actually, no, Tito is from Southern California, man. But I do want to tell you that tomorrow morning, speaking of Gabe Flores, who I want to get to in just a moment, Drew, I saw him, Nonito Donaire, not too long ago at the MGM Grand at one of those open workouts. And I got him on camera, guys. Maybe some of you may have been watching. I was there for an open workout. I don't recall which one. Nonito Donaire pops up on my open workout, and I said, "Hey, Nonito, good to see you. Who is going to be the next world champion from the Bay Area?" And he hesitated for just a split second, and he said, "Flores. Gabriel Flores." Gabriel and him have a deep relationship, obviously. This was Gabe's one shot to redeem himself after being let go by Top Rank. He fought Cordina, a former world champion, in his backyard in Stockton as the co-main event. He gave it his all, but sometimes even when you give it your all, you just come up short. And that's the way it was, Drew. He was hurt pretty badly in the 11th round. I thought that he had come out very aggressively against the former world champion. The scorecards were close, guys. They were close. What did I write down? Maybe you guys don't agree with the scorecards, but the judges had it, and this was California, 115 to 112, 114 to 113. And most people who felt Cordina dominated, this scorecard was probably more appropriate, 117, 110. But those two judges had it within distance for Gabriel Flores. He did get hurt. I'm not going to lie, man. He got hurt pretty bad in the 11th round. He was in survival mode. But he also rocked Cordina a few times for somebody that some fighters might say, some people might say Flores has, over his career, been pillow-fisted, like Paulie Malignaggi, a boxer. He held his own for the duration of the fight, but that's just it wasn't good enough, Drew. He was paid handsomely, though. I will say this, if you guys wanted to know, $250,000 for the fight. Almost as much money as the main event, Diego Pacheco. What are your thoughts on that, man? Cordina now becomes the mandatory for Abdullah Mason. Youngest champion in boxing, Abdullah Mason versus Cordina, 34-year-old former champion.
It could be a good fight.
You got the most inexperienced champion against a very wily veteran in Cordina.
Yeah, it might be a dangerous fight for Mason. And hopefully, Cordina could put him through shit that he's never been through before. And it all depends if he can get out of it or not, if he gets into a jam during the fight.
Yeah. Hey, Chauncey says, this is what's wrong with boxing. The next should fight. Who's next? Enough of developing a fighter. The developmental process should be the amateurs. What are we talking about? I have to give credit to Gabriel Flores, who is an independent, he's an independent fighter, not signed to Matchroom Boxing. This was being produced in his backyard in Stockton. Gabriel Flores sells tickets. I'm not going to lie, man. And the city of Stockton has just been through some very dramatic, the harsh life of Stockton, California, a city that's going through a lot of pain and misery right now with the violence on the streets of Stockton. They needed a really good event. They really needed a hometown hero to win this weekend, but he gave it all he did. I'm going to just put it out there. He lives out here in Vegas, but, Stockton is his home. That's his backyard. Shout out to him and his dad. It just wasn't enough on this particular day. I say, you go back to the drawing board and fight on again. See if you can get another big payday. It is what it is. Let's talk about the main event really quick. We'll talk about what else is going on. Shit, I forgot to say Nonito Donaire is fighting in the morning, Drew. Well, I don't know, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in Japan. I talked about the Bay Area, but Nonito Donaire, 43 years old, is fighting tomorrow in Japan for a world title all over again. 118-pound WBA World Championship. He's fighting Tsutsami. Can he do the unthinkable at 43 years old and once again become a world champion? One more time, Drew. Hey, ready to hang it up?
I don't know.
You think he beats the much younger guy? He's looking fit, man. Always had a clean career. Always had a clean career. Shout out to Nonito Donaire, 43 years old. He'll be fighting in the morning. I don't know how I could watch it, but I'm impressed. So, Teo, I've seen the video of Nonito Donaire when he first got a first glimpse of Bam Rodriguez. Bam was maybe 12 years old or something like that. Nonito Donaire says, "Oh, this kid's gonna be something. He's gonna be something special." You think, Drew, that Nonito Donaire wins this fight?
I can't say it.
Well, shit, we might. If he doesn't win tomorrow, guys, it may be a very serious conversation him and his wife need to have. You gave it your all in the ring, all your entire career, clean. If you can't win tomorrow, then perhaps it's time for you to join Terence Crawford in retirement and have a retirement speech, because what else is there to prove in the sport of boxing when you have the accomplishments of Nonito Donaire? So let's get to that main event really quickly, Drew. 168-pound division is up for grabs. All the belt now that he's dropped the WBC title. Terence Crawford has announced his retirement. The 168-pound division is up for grabs this weekend. We got to look at Diego Pacheco, who I saw him fight on January of this year. Got dropped by Sajo. This dude looks like he's built like a free safety in the NFL, man. Sajo, French guy. He's beat Christian and Billy. They're both French fighters in the amateurs. They said he beat Billy quite easily. He roughed up Diego Pacheco all night, made it very difficult for him. But Diego Pacheco kept his composure and won on points. I just want to know, did you see something in Sajo's game plan that might be effective for other fighters in this division to beat the tall, lanky Diego Pacheco?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think highly of Diego Pacheco. I don't. I think that I don't even think he's that good. I think that he's very beatable. He has a lot of flaws. He's easy to hit. And no one has really questioned his chin yet. And if you put him against, I think Christian and Billy stops him.
He's not calling a fight, Christian and Billy. I love that fight. I like the Shiraz fight even better because, hey, fight somebody your own, fight somebody your own size.
Shiraz destroys him.
So he is calling a fight Jaime Munguia, who's been beat by Canelo Alvarez, who was knocked out by Surachi, Frenchman himself this year. But in the past 3 fights, and like I said, guys, I went to one of his fights this year at the Cosmopolitan in January. In 3 fights, he's gone 36 rounds. Do I got a picture of the current 168-pound? Let me see if we got a picture of... Is Canelo Alvarez going to retire? That's what we really... the big news is he's not going to fight in May. He gave up the day, Cinco de Mayo. Now it's questionable whether or not he'll even fight in September because there ain't going to be no rematch with Terence Crawford. Does Canelo want to fight guys in this division? I mean, does he think any of these guys are worthy of sharing the ring with him at this point in his career? He owes money. I believe he owes Turki Al-Sheikh 2 more fights.
He owes him 2 more fights. And I really doubt Turkey is not going to say, hey, I got to get you 2 big fights. I can't let you, I need you 2 big fights. And one of those fights is probably going to be him fighting Demetrius Bivol again. Or seeing if Benavidez will still want to fight Canelo.
There's a couple of guys I think here that would give Canelo Alvarez impressive fights on this list. One of them is going to be Christian and Billy. He'll be fighting for a vacant belt. The boogeyman on this list is actually going to be is it Iglesias? Nobody wants to fight this fighter named Iglesias on this list, and that's because he can box and he's a heavy puncher. Even though he has less than 15 fights, it's very unlikely. I love Lester Martinez. By the way, already people were talking about Lester Martinez, Christian and Billy nominated for Fight of the Year. Lester Martinez would be a very fun fight for Canelo Alvarez. But again, does he want to share the ring with any of these less accomplished fighters? Is he going to stick around the super middleweight division? Or for the money, is he going to jump up and fight, like who you just mentioned, Drew, Dimitri Bivol? I don't know. I really don't know, especially with what's going to happen with the UFC taking over boxing next January, setting up their own promotional company. Big news. I saw this guy fight. It's on my channel. Armando Resendez upset Caleb Plant this year. Armando Resendez's family was fun, Drew. They were just chilling right next to me and my wife. We were at the weigh-in. And they were a riot, to be honest. Armando Resendez beat him. He could be elevated to WBA's full super middleweight champion by the end of the week. That's an announcement that I'll be looking forward to see if that happens or not. But things are definitely changing. What's your thoughts, Drew?
Well, I think that I think Shiraz would kill Diego Pacheco. If you want to look at right now, those names you just put in there, I will probably have Shiraz as the best fighter out of all of them.
Could be the most dangerous for sure. I think I can't wait for him to get a title, to be honest.
I think the second one would be Bruno Scracci.
That one I laugh. I almost feel like that was a fluke. Almost, if you guys know Surachi, who just fought the rematch with Jaime Munguia, did you think that was a fluke? Because he didn't perform quite as well in the second one.
He tested positive, but you know, sue him off of his corrupted ass, fucking exonerate him and everything. Now that fight should have been a no contest. But you know, corruption strikes again with the WBC. And then I will probably put Billy there. But I don't think that. And Billy's very beatable too. And then I will probably put Lester Martinez.
I like him. I want to see him running back with Christian and Billy once one of those guys gets the title. My voice is starting to go, guys. I kind of got a little bit of a bug. One of these champions is no longer a champion. 42 years old. We talked about football players, 40-year-old quarterbacks to start the show. There are 2 world champions over the age of 42. There were. Because this weekend, to not much fanfare, on a very small promotional network, I don't even know where this fight typically was, but Badu Jack, who used to be part of Team Mayweather, TMT, lost his title, cruiserweight title, no longer a cruiserweight champion. He lost his title this past weekend. It's a big loss for him, Drew. It's something where, he has not announced it. He lost his title to Noel Mikelian. 2 of the titles at cruiserweight are controlled by Zurdo Ramirez, who David Benavidez is going to fight. I think David Benavidez beats Noel Mikelian, who has one of those belts. For David Benavidez, here's my thoughts. He wins this belt in May, Cinco de Mayo, in Las Vegas. He might as well stick at cruiserweight because there's only one super fight left at cruiserweight. Jayo Pataya. I think David Benavidez gets 3 titles in 2026 at cruiserweight.
I think you have to.
And Jayo Pataya, man, he's fought for Turki Al-Sheikh. That is a super fight, whether you win or lose. Whether you win or lose. Dude, Jayo Pataya broke this dude's... He broke a vertebrae, I think, in his neck just 2 weeks ago. That's got to be knockout of the year right here. But this is the only fight at cruiserweight that is... I want to see between David Benavidez. Thank you to everybody that's been joining us. If you're new to the channel, this is a combat sports channel and football channel. Appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, it's absolutely free. Let's talk about what's going down this weekend. We talked about Nonito Donaire. There is a lot of fights if you're into boxing. The main one is Netflix, free this Friday. Excuse me, guys. Friday night, The Unthinkable. Former gold medalist, former heavyweight world champion, beat Klitschko to become the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, has given Jake Paul an opportunity to step into the ring with him, Drew. I'm reading all kinds of people going back and forth whether or not there is fight fixing going on. This fight is sanctioned in Florida. The ticket sales are absolutely awful, but Netflix don't care. Should you care, Drew? Do you care? Do you care? They're selling horribly.
It's bad, but I think Netflix realizes, let's have this on there because they don't expect Jake Paul to win this fight. And then that way they can say, hey, Jake, you're no longer marketable.
Well, Jacob, he's doing interviews that I've seen today where it looks like he's overlooking Anthony Joshua. He's talking about who he's going to fight afterwards. He's talking about fighting UFC champion Pereira, who just moved up to, who's just now moving up to the heavyweight division in the UFC. It looks to me like he's looking way beyond Anthony Joshua. And somebody, Deontay Wilder made a comment today and said, he basically said if the fight isn't fixed, Anthony Joshua should destroy him. Which is what I think what anybody who with sense who've been following boxing would say, that Anthony Joshua should and could knock him out within the first round.
I'm going under 5. Yeah.
5? You think you'll toy with him like a cat toys with a mouse?
I think this ends within 5 rounds.
Interesting. Let me pull up the DraftKings. Guys. If you're listening, let us know. What do you think? Is this scripted? Boxing has always been accused of being scripted. Football's being accused of being scripted.
Here's the thing. If you look at the odds, you will think that Vegas thinks that this fight is fixed.
Anthony Joshua, DraftKings, not Vegas. That's not MGM Sportsbook or South Point down the street for me. Anthony Joshua on DraftKings is a negative 1,200 favorite. Let's look at more bets. That's a straight money line. Total rounds over 2.5 is a negative 140. Under 2.5 plus 105. Jake Paul by KO. That's what he seems to think he's going to do. He's going to knock out Anthony Joshua. Plus 1,200. Anthony Joshua by KO is negative 400. That's crazy. You got to bet $400 to win $100 for Joshua by knockout. That does not pay well. How you doing this fight? Are you gonna, if you were to bet on it?
I will bet on Joshua inside 5.
All right. I mean, he's got a toy with this guy. It's got to be just, yeah. I mean, you've got to. Here's the thing, guys. The ticket sales could be down in theory because Miami is not a good fight town. In fact, Miami is not even a baseball town. You look at their attendance for football, not great either. It's really not. I mean, the Hurricanes do better ticket sales, Drew. Fights typically don't do that great in Miami. And you've got a high speculation that this shit is fixed. You got people probably thinking, why would I spend $50, $100, $50 for horrible seats if they're even that cheap with fees? I doubt it. You know, why would I want to spend $100 plus Uber, taxis, parking fees to see Jake Paul get knocked out in one round? Like, well, I'll tell you who else is on the card because I know you like Alicia Baumgartner is back fighting Layla Boudouin. She is a negative 1,400 favorite. So another fight that's not competitive. Are you excited about Alicia's return?
It's not a competitive fight. Like, I'm just looking forward for the main event. That's it. I could care about the rest. I could care less about the rest. I'm sorry. It's just not. I'm just not really interested, other than seeing this main event.
So, MVP Promotions has a lot of great women's fighters on the card, but this one is like 2 old UFC fighters. Again, Anderson Silva, now pushing mid-40s, fighting Tyrone Woodley. Who cares? Shernika Johnson, she's a world champion from Australia. Negative 900 favorite over Amanda Gaye. She's been looking impressive. Also, she's a world champion from Australia. Yokasti Valley, the former world champion, a negative 1,400 favorite against Yadira Bustillos. That'll all be televised on Netflix for free this Friday. Well, guys, it's been a really good show. Just one more fight to talk about really quickly. Tim Tszyu makes his return, Drew. Tim Tszyu is fighting, I think, is it tomorrow as well or Thursday? But Tim Tszyu got rid of everybody. Got rid of just about everybody that I had a pleasure of meeting a lot of the people that were behind his team here in Las Vegas when he fought Sebastian Fundora. And he got rid of just about everybody, including and mainly of most importance is his coach. And he started training with Pedro Diaz of Cuba in Miami. Pedro Diaz, who promised to bring a whole new element to his game, maybe resurrect him defensively. He's fighting a journeyman, Anthony Velasquez, a hard-hitting journeyman. Catch weight, interesting catch weight, 157 pounds. God, the unthinkable, Drew. He gets hit hard again. This guy, I've seen some of his club stuff. The guy is a heavy puncher, but he's a club fighter from the Massachusetts, Connecticut area. sometimes those guys like, Gotti came out of that circuit. They can surprise you. Any surprises you might anticipate for Tim Tszyu? You think this is the guy to resurrect his career? Rebrand him?
It could be. Depends. But, like, this could also be a fight that he's facing an undefeated guy. And I have a feeling that this guy is going to give Tim Tszyu a horrible fight.
Yeah, he's fighting. Let me see really quickly. Shout out to 702 Man Cave who's still listening. Friday's a big night. There's a lot of fights. Actually, I played the music like we were going to get off, but I did not forget that. Let me see if I got that picture because Saturday night, I'm not sure how you're going to watch this one. I don't know which network it is. It's probably on DAZN because it's Misfits Boxing. I'll probably talk about it a little bit more on Thursday, but Andrew Tate, is it Andrew Tate? Cobra Tate, what's his name?
Andrew Tate.
Ah, man. I can't root for the guy, but the guy he's fighting in the main event is so comical. Former football player turned reality TV star. Big guy, played football, Chase Demore. He's absolutely the worst guy I've ever seen fight in Misfits Boxing, but he thinks he can fight. Against Tate, who hasn't fought competitively in combat sports in years, former world kickboxing champion. He should beat a guy that is so awkward as Chase Demore, who has the absolute worst footwork I've ever seen. He's made some improvements. In the co-main event, shout out to Amado Vargas. They're already there in Dubai. Amado Vargas of Las Vegas. He's fighting that guy, and this guy's pretty interesting. Dean the Great. My sources have said, look, Dean the Great was not a standout amateur star. He's not a guy that was going to be a threat to win the national amateurs, which Amado and his brothers most likely competed. Of course, they competed at the nationals. But Dean the Great looks really good against celebrities and YouTubers in Misfits Boxing. He looks like he's the most seasoned. Him and like Poppy, whatever that dude his name. He looks like he's the best. Saul Poppy. He looks like he's the best. He looks like he knows what he's doing. But is it enough for somebody that was born to fight, that was born into a fighting family, a world champion for a father? We're gonna find out on Saturday. I think Dean the Great should get knocked out, but that's actually going to be a very entertaining fight because here we're gonna get to see if Dean the Great is, can he compete against actual real boxers? Because if he shows up and does well, then you might start considering Dean the Great as somebody who could transition into real boxing. If he gets knocked out, then you just know that he's probably the best YouTube boxer of his group, So I do look forward to watching that Saturday. Where's the rest of this, guys? There was a lot of more fights. Hold on here. I'm going to have it on Thursday, the complete schedule of all the boxing. Oh, here it is. Even Pro Box. Forgot, man. There's so much going on here. We got Nonito Donaire. We got Tim Tszyu versus Velasquez. And then, of course, Cardenas, who gave... I saw that Cinco de Mayo, man. He gave the Japanese, the Monster, a hell of a fight. Dropping the Monster. He returns to Pro Box on YouTube. Robson Constanchao's on that. We got some women's fights. K. Scott. Tony Harrison is back. Damn, Drew. Damn. A lot of boxing on this weekend. Thank you, 702 Man Cave, for reminding me. Dave in the 702. Drew, any final thoughts, man?
I'm going to say it now. After the next Monday's episode, I would not be on the shoe shine the week after because I'll be recuperating from surgery.
That's right. Man, it's crazy, man. I appreciate that, Drew, for reminding me. Next Monday, make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in this Thursday for our football picks, and then we'll resume after hopefully Drew recovers. And I'll leave it up to you, Drew, if you want to tell people on Thursday what surgery you're having, but it'll be kind of a nice little break until post New Year's, and hopefully everything turns out all right, man. Appreciate that. David the 702, Philly Irish, we're out. Peace.